News Talk Radio 710 KNUS introduces the Private Label University, the only show that dares to unlock the secrets to your online selling success so you can start making money and living your dreams.
I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad.
With over 35 years of sourcing, private labeling, and importing product for the big chain stores and coaching thousands of entrepreneurs, all while building their personal businesses. Let's welcome our Private Label University hosts, the fabulous, lovable, and cutest dynamic duo, Karen and Neil Gwartzman.
Welcome to the Private Label University here at 710 KNUS. We are your hosts, Karen and Neil Gwartzman, and this is where we unlock the secrets each week to your online selling success. So visit us over at www.privatelabeluniversity.com, where we offer a ton of free content and where you will find our 8-week Import Success Formula program. This is the formula to sourcing and importing products so you too can start selling products on Amazon or online and start making the money that everyone's talking about. And while you're over there on our website, leave us a message or a question and we'll answer it on the show. So every single week we love to talk about things that we have found or bought on Amazon. And Neil, why don't you tell us today what was one of the amazing Amazon finds that we found?
Okay, well, as always, we love to shop on Amazon and we love to sell on Amazon.
Absolutely.
And so my find this week was, since it's coming up to springtime, barbecue season, I found some chip brushes. Now, a chip brush is these, simple brushes that you use around the house. So you can use them for painting, for touch-ups, for barbecuing, for basting, simple cleanup, applying glue. So with that, I actually went online because I needed a bunch of brushes for around the house, and we were going to do some special barbecue sauces. So I found these.
I'm excited that you're going to be doing all this stuff. I'm getting hungry.
So I found these inexpensive. It was called a 1-inch chip Mac brush, and it was 12 of them for only $9.99 delivered to my door. So it was just, it's a nice disposable brush, but something you can use around the house. I know if your kids are doing some painting outdoors, let's say you're going to paint the fence, you want a disposable brush, or if you're going to clean up around the house and you're just touching things up. But of course, for barbecuing, I know a lot of times you'll go through the supermarket in King Soopers, and when you go to the utensil area, they have these basting brushes, and they could be $2 and $3 each. Well, this is the exact same thing, and I got 12 of them for less than $10.
That's amazing. So they're not, I guess you don't clean them, they're disposable.
Yeah, I guess you could clean them. It's made out of pure bristle. It has a natural handle, so they're, inexpensive brushes. They look good. And I was pretty satisfied with them. I got them. They look nice. My kids were all excited. They thought maybe we were going to do some painting. So Bryn and Braden were like, "Are we going to paint the fence?" And like, "No, we're going to make some barbecue sauce."
Excellent. So I hope after the show today, you're going to go over and buy some gas and start barbecuing.
And start barbecuing, yeah. So it was if you go to Amazon and just type in 1-inch chip Mac MACK brush case of 12, you'll be able to order them for $9.99. Delivered free to your door.
So you can start barbecuing.
So you can start barbecuing. Now is the season, so get all those brushes ready and start basting. Basting a turkey, brisket, wings.
Hungry.
Yeah, it's real handy. So I thought it was a great find. Again, found it on Amazon, and that was my find for this week. So pretty excited.
And I'm excited. I'll let everyone know
all this
about
cooking
it.
I'm going to be doing.
Exactly.
I'll give some recipes next week.
Exactly. There's an idea. So I'm really excited about today's topic because today we are going to talk about China. And it really is the place to be buying anything at incredible prices. And many people and big companies are sourcing and manufacturing directly from China. Actually, the world's largest retailer, one of the world's largest retailer, Walmart, says its inventory they stock from China. It seems to be over what I'm looking at statistics. Over $18 billion a year is what they buy for their inventory from China, which is amazing. So last year, Walmart bought over $15 billion worth of products from China, half purchased directly from them and the other from suppliers in China. So more than 70% of commodities sold at Walmart are made in China.
Right, yeah. And people don't realize that it really is the go-to place. Like look at Walmart, of course Amazon. When you go to Amazon, a lot of the products that are on Amazon are made in China.
And we know this because a lot of our students who we teach sourcing and importing products sell them on Amazon, and most of where they're importing from and sourcing from is directly from China. So that's why I say one of the largest retailers.
And then, I'm always amazed when persons, they make comments like, oh, I don't want to buy at Walmart because the products are from China. Or, there's another store that they don't like to buy because they say a lot of products are from China. But really, if you look at it, most of the products, whether you go into Target or Walmart or, even, King Soopers or any of the supermarkets, a lot of those products, those accessory items, and even some of the food these days comes from China. And, people don't look at what they just have on them. Like they open your wallet or open your purse or grab your phone. Have you ever looked at your phone? Your phone says assembled in China. It says designed by Apple, but it's, the products and it's all put together in China. Even things like your shoes, your Nike shoes, they're from China. Your carbon fiber tennis racket from China. So a lot of these products, when you walk through Target, when you go through Home Depot, when you go through Lowe's, those products are from China. So you can't really escape it.
Well,
and it's not a bad
glasses.
thing.
I mean, you how many pairs of glasses do you wear? Or do you have?
Yeah, I have over 50 pairs of glasses.
And where are they from?
And most of them, I'm going to say 95% of them are from China. A lot of the designer companies are making their products in China. So companies that are in, across Europe, whether it be in Italy or Germany, a lot of the big name brands, they've set up manufacturing facilities in China. So the products that you think, and I'm not saying that, for example, Gucci, that all their products are made in China, but they have factories set up in China where this way they can, have products that are assembled, or if there's, a lot of sewing involved or small labor intensive to put together the item, they'll have it done in China, then shipped into Italy or Germany where they're located, and then exported into the U.S. or other parts of Europe, and they'll put made in Germany or made in Italy, when really a lot of it is put together in China. So, they have the capability of doing it. And when Karen just mentioned, you mentioned my glasses. So I have all these designer glasses, beautiful glasses, almost like my trademark, where people say, wow, where'd you get those?
Tons of them.
Yeah, did you get them in, I heard you were in Germany. Did you get those glasses in Germany? Sometimes they'll be designed in Germany or designed in Italy, but they're actually manufactured in China. So, if anyone out there has some really cool glasses or really unique glasses, send us a picture. Send us on Facebook a picture of your glasses, because I love glasses and I love to see what other people have collected. And I know I've been to places in China where, Gucci and Chanel and Ray-Ban have set up offices in China because, a lot of the frames.
And also, I mean, the number one reason is price.
Exactly.
There's amazing pricing for, and importing opportunities. So many people are turning to China to manufacture or private label products. And now with, opportunities on the internet to be able to purchase things at lower prices, sites like, Alibaba, AliExpress, they're popping up, and they're making it even easier for companies and people to source for products and manufacture products in China because of the price.
Right.
You can't compare.
And they set up, state-of-the-art facilities for, the laser cutters and CNC machines, and any, of course, with glasses, optical equipment. So a lot of the companies that are based in Europe or US or Japan, they've set up these state-of-the-art manufacturing complexes just to have the product made or assembled in China, and then, of course, either sent to their country and then exported into the US or to Canada. But the idea is, again, like you mentioned, it's the savings. There's just that savings that they get done there. And it's not necessarily to get a cheaper product, because maybe the raw materials are coming from France or from, the UK or, different parts of the world, and then sent to China for the manufacturing process because the labor costs are just lower there. And again, the accessibility to a larger labor force. So you have a much greater labor force there that can assemble the parts. Again, look at your iPhone. On the back it says assembled in China. So that's, these are things that you use in your everyday lifestyle. That's where it's coming from.
And you ask people too, like, would you rather, buy something at a more expensive price, or be able to source it and buy it from China, right?
Exactly. So people are seeing that every day.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I think that's great. So, again, there's different sites that you can go to look at that. And we're going to talk about this a little bit after a break. So let's take a short break. We are Karen and Neil Gortzman with the Private Label University.
KNUS News Talk 710.
Would an extra $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, or even $10,000 a month help you live a better life? It doesn't have to stop there. People just like you are making thousands of dollars selling products on Amazon. The best part is, it's simple. All you need is a product. Karen and Neil Gortzman, creators of Private Label University, are here to show you how. How to find that perfect product so you can join millions of people and start making the money that everyone is talking about on Amazon. Private Label University unlocks 35 years of secrets about sourcing, importing, and private labeling products for big chain stores. Karen and Neil truly believe in you, so much that they'll invest $500 towards your tuition in the Private Label University program, the Import Success Formula. Go to Karen and Neil's website at privatelabeluniversity.com and enroll in the Import Success Formula program. Enter code PLU for $500 off your tuition of the program when paid in full. So what are you waiting for? Head over to privatelabeluniversity.com and sign up today.
Do you suffer from pain, numbness, tingling, or burning in the hands or feet? It's called peripheral neuropathy. Tired of taking drugs that don't fix the problem or being treated without success? Well, Chronic Conditions Center of Colorado and Dr. Chris Steiner have created a program with no surgery, drugs, or injections, but with real results. Here's Diane.
I was in a lot of pain in my feet from neuropathy. It was what I thought was my final chance. I had been to the Mayo Clinic, to neurologists, several other doctors. I had a bag of pills to help me walk. Doc was very, very positive. I kind of was pretty skeptical, but I'm not anymore. I had 3 treatments last week. I had 1 treatment this week, and last night I was walking in, 4-inch high heels.
Chronic Conditions Center of Colorado treats many types of chronic pain, and they have treatment programs for ADD and ADHD. Call Dr. Steiner at 303-660-2668 or visit them online at chronicconditionsco.com. That's chronicconditionsco.com.
We now return to the Private Label University with your hosts, Karen and Neil Gortzman on News Talk 710 KNUS.
So for those of you who are just joining us, we are Karen and Neil Gortzman, and you are listening to the Private Label University here on 710 KNUS, where we unlock the secrets each week to your online selling success. So visit us over at www.privatelabeluniversity.com, where we offer a ton of free content and where you will find our 8-week Import Success Formula program. This is the formula to sourcing and importing products so you too can start selling products on Amazon or online and start making the money that everyone's talking about. And while you're over there on our website, leave us a message or a question and we'll answer it on the show. So, Neil, we were just talking about China.
We were.
Yes.
Ni hao.
So, exactly. So, why source in China?
Well, of course, China right now is the go-to place for importers. So whatever type of business or industry you're in, really China is the main sourcing spot. You have South Korea, you have Japan, you have India, but really China has incorporated all the necessities for making sure they manufacture products, following all the regulations and rules. The Chinese are quite smart when they decided to do more and more exports. And I know a lot of the, even the political figures have said, China this, China that. But really, it's the go-to place. So it's a main supplier base. China's supplier base it's just huge. And the country imports a substantial portion of even the subcomponents and materials from other countries. So all the assembly work for consumer goods are done in factories in China. Even the sourcing for apparel and textile, of course the consumer electronics, the toy industry, car products, even lasers are manufactured and exported from China. So China offers that huge manufacturing network that can support so many industries.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
Think about it. So when you think China, a lot of people think manufacturing. So would you say that there's so much more manufacturing going on in China than there is, say, in the U.S.?
Definitely. Of course, it's the size of the country and the size of the population. But there's also that it's the increasing sophistication and the capability. That's the key here. You know, many of China factories, they've improved so much over the years. And, you know, with respect to the manufacturing capabilities and the efficiency, the management sophistication they have now, and the customer service. You know, it's possible to source from factories that have all this value added because they have the engineers and the designers and all in the related areas to make sure that they're coming out with great products. And it really is it's almost like a life cycle of production there to manufacture products. And, you know, even as I mentioned in the sophistication of the management, they make sure that everything has its levels from you know, the technical workers to the engineers, so everything gets produced in a really time-efficient manner. And the incentives are in China to keep improving all the time and to make sure their performance is up to par with what U.S. manufacturers want. And that's what's happening, where there's that demand from U.S. companies who are taking the products to China or looking for products, and the Chinese are adapting very easily.
And I think, you know, people think when they think China, they think that the people there are not smart. Do you know what I mean? And it's really the opposite. I mean, they are so organized. And I mean, you want to comment on that?
Yeah,
I mean,
you know, it's a misconception.
It's a misconception.
Or it's a myth. People think that, oh, you know, a lot of people in China, oh, they're peasants or they're farmers. But you know what? It's a metropolis of commerce. And it's a metropolis of people manufacturing, again, the computer industry, the tech industry, the furniture industry, the apparel industry. It's been huge there for years, but the quality is going up and up because, you know, people from China are educated around the world. You have engineers graduating from the top universities in Europe, in Canada, in the USA, and a lot of them, you know, will stay here for a while. They'll maybe work in the US, they'll help companies here, and then the companies here or in other countries saying, wow, you're so valuable, can you go back to China and now use that in manufacturing those products? So, you know, here it's different. When you know, people have the 9-to-5 grind here where they're, you know, they go to work, they punch in, they do their job, they go home, and that's it. Whereas in China, if they feel they're going to be part of a company that's really growing, they want to stay with that company. They don't really consider if they're on a low-level position. They think that they're helping. Even, you know, someone here, if they start off in the mailroom, it's like, oh, I'm working in the mailroom and just delivering and going to the floor. Whereas someone in China thinks, if I'm in the mailroom, now I'm learning how things are passed on. I'm learning the communication process. I'm learning upper management of things, how I have to interact. And they want to grow with it, and they learn. They gain that education. So, and the work ethics there, it's just different. It's different in every country. It is. They so much appreciate having a good job and having a job because it is competitive. Think of it. You know, there's over 1 billion people, and in some of the cities, small cities, you can have 5-10 million people. You know, 5 to 10 times the size of many cities here. So there, the competition for working is very tough. But that's why there's so many factories starting up all the time. Still, the country is so vast that they have the ability, again, to start new companies and new factories, and look to what the world is doing and saying, hey, we can help or we can make a product to do business as well. Mm-hmm. So I'd like actually to talk a little further about this misconception, especially with the workforce in China. Because when you think, again, you think China, some people think child labor and cheap labor and bad working conditions, and this is really not the case. Right. And, you know, I've been doing business in China now for almost 40 years. So even when it wasn't popular to do business in mainland China, I was doing inspections there. I was being sent out there, even with government companies to look at and manufacturing. Yeah, I've been to factories all across from northern China to southern China, in Hong Kong. And really looked at how the manufacturing is set up, the management, and the qualities, the condition. You know, they're very, very concerned with their children, the education. They want to make sure their kids have the education so when they enter the workforce that they're, you know, improving things and helping the world. And, you know, when people take on a job or take on a position in any type of company, let's say they're working in assembly line and they learn about the quality of that product, then they actually can use their education. Maybe it was in engineering, but they don't suddenly just put them in an engineering position because it's not open. They'll take another position so they can learn what the company is doing and then add more. It's just added value, and that information and that expertise goes into the product.
And don't they stay with the company for a long time?
Yeah, you'll
like
see
the loyalty.
Yeah, the loyalty. I've seen people who have been with some manufacturers for 30 years, 35 years with the same company because they enjoy working with that company and they see the progress. And that's the important thing. They see progress. And of course, if they see the product being exported to all these other countries of what they're manufacturing, they're very proud. You imagine someone who works for a Chinese manufacturer, and let's say a lot of American companies are, well, we have friends that are from China and they work in China, and when they come here and they go, oh, that's our product.
Yeah.
We make it, and that's in the shelves of all these big department stores.
Exactly.
And they're very proud to see it. So it's that like you say, that pride in manufacturing. And yeah, the misconceptions, there's no slave labor, there's no
Child
abuse,
labor.
there's no child labor, there's no, people say, oh, they work for, 5 cents a day. It doesn't happen. And it is relative to what they're making. Of course, it's not the
And
same.
their cost of living.
Cost of living is much
it's
lower.
relative to where they live.
Right.
It's more expensive here, obviously, so things are more expensive here. But really, the number one reason that people source in China is because of cost.
Is because of cost, exactly. And when you search, any type of sites or people are quoted from China, it's funny because on the Shark Tank, sometimes when let's say Kevin
Sharks.
O'Leary or the Sharks, Damon Johns is looking at a product and he said, oh, no, don't worry, just your price is too high, I'll have it made in China. So it's like automatically they say you can't afford to make it here, which is sometimes an unfortunate thing, not to keep the job or the manufacturing done in the U.S. But they know that on the grand scheme of things, for the population to want to buy that product and have it out there, you have to find a place that can produce it, can manufacture it at a lower cost, and that being China. There are even logistically, China has set up so they know how to ship products. FedEx and UPS and even United States Postal Service, they work efficiently with China Post, so you get packages really fast. You can get packages in one day. So a lot of the other countries haven't set up that way. And even container loads, they say there's ships filled with containers that are just going to Walgreens and Walmart and Target because they want to make sure
And Amazon.
They want to make sure the product is on the shelves for people to buy it. So Karen, if you walked into a store and let's say you could buy a product made in the USA and it was $12, or you can buy a product made in China and it was $5 and it looked almost the same and it did what you want. Are you going to pay the $12 because it's made in America?
Well, not to disrespect manufacturers in America, but I mean, the thing is,
people look at what they can afford.
People look at what they can afford. And yes, I would buy something that's less expensive. But at the same time, it's all relative, the cost of living in China.
Correct.
Here in the U.S., we're controlled by unions, and there's so
Correct.
many other issues that are involved. So it hikes up that cost of the product, and that's why, unfortunately, I wish we could keep all the manufacturing here, but it's just too expensive, the product at the end, for
Right.
people to buy it. And that's why companies, it's all about the price, right? Isn't that what Walmart's all about? And Amazon
Right.
is keeping the price down. So that's why they're going to China. And it's unfortunate, but unfortunately here in the U.S.,
all the restrictions and
unions and how much you get paid,
tax
minimum
laws
wage,
and tariff laws.
right? So
Yeah.
it jacks up the price. So unless you have a really unique product or something like that absolutely can't be found or made anywhere else, then you can charge high prices and people will buy it. But if it's something that can be made in China, then it's going to be made in China because then people can afford it. You can manufacture it for less.
Right, and that's the thing. It's knowing that people can go out and if you're whatever wage you're earning to afford, your day-to-day living items, utensils, things that you take for granted. If all of a sudden the price was very high, you wouldn't be buying them. But it's not going to say that people aren't going to buy high-end expensive things. There are always people to buy those. The expensive cars, the Teslas and the Rolls Royces and the
some
Ferraris.
people are very much like only made in the USA.
And we love that. We like to see that.
And they're willing to, pay the extra price. But I would say the majority of people living here in the U.S. and in Canada, I think would, the first thing that attracts people, it's the price.
Right.
It's the price. So the crazy thing is entrepreneurs and retail stores are actually not really buying direct from China, even though they think they are.
Right. And that's, we've always talked about where retailers sometimes think that they're buying directly from China. They, oh, yes, I buy all my products from China. And we say, well, who do you get it from? And then they give like an American company. And I said, well, that's not from China. You're buying it through a distributor.
Who buys it from China?
Who buys it from China? Or may who be buying
so
it from...
So they might be buying from China, but not directly.
Right. Yeah, and so that's where also the price, that's where retailers, and again, we teach in our mastermind classes, we teach in our course that retailers have to learn when they think they're buying direct, they're not. Unless you actually know it's coming from a China factory, if you're buying it from a distributor who, let's say, even if they have a Chinese name in their company, are they really getting it from China? They may be going through another company in Hong Kong.
And there's ways of finding out
company.
And learning how, and
Right.
that's exactly what we teach in our courses. But it's amazing because people say, oh, I buy it from China. And yes, it's bought from China, but not directly.
Right.
So again, what happens is your costs increase.
Correct.
Because there's all these middlemen, right? So
Right.
all these costs are increasing.
And that's why we always try to teach retailers, even retailers who have been in business for 20, 30 years, 40 years, they have no clue that they're not buying directly from China.
Exactly.
And we can save them a lot of money if they take our course and learn how to do it.
And it's just not learning it. They just don't know better. So actually, let's take a short break here. We will be right back. We are Karen and Neil Gortzman with the Private Label University.
Not connected. That's what officials are saying after yet another earthquake struck, this time in Ecuador. It hit the North Coast Saturday night, and the death toll there stands at 77 with hundreds injured. Back-to-back quakes hit Japan on Friday and Saturday, killing at least 41 there. Physics professor Michio Kaku was asked if there's any connection between the two events across the Pacific Ocean from each other.
The short answer is no. It turns out that these plates move pretty much independently of the other along the Ring of Fire.
In the presidential race, Ted Cruz swept all 14 GOP delegates at the state convention in Wyoming. The other candidates are focusing on New York's primary Tuesday, the next big prize, 95 Republican delegates and 291 Democratic delegates are up for grabs. Colorado is digging out after a huge spring snowstorm. More than 2 feet of snow reported in some parts of the state, and storm warnings are still posted. This is ABC News.
Music, one of life's greatest pleasures, has...
News Talk 710. Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper and deeper in credit card debt and you're not sure how to fix the problem? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management is a non-profit organization that will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, and reduce your interest rates by as much as 60%. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. It's not a loan. It's a smart way to relieve your stress, meet your obligations, and preserve your self-respect. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Gather up your bills and call this toll-free number for a free, no-obligation debt analysis. 1-800-936-5348. That's 1-800-936-5348. If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
If you share my love of freedom, my love of America, then I'd like to invite you to stand with me and well over 1 million other patriotic Americans by joining AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC fights for individual liberty, fiscal sanity in Washington, keeping a lid on an ever-growing federal government, and so much more. Not only does AMAC advocate for the values that we hold dear, but my AMAC membership also gives me access to exceptional money-saving benefits and discounts, such as group rates on auto insurance, a low-cost roadside assistance program, travel discounts, and access to all things Medicare. I proudly support AMAC. I'm an AMAC member, and I encourage you to become one too. Join AMAC today at www.amac.us. That's www.amac.us, or call 888-262-2006. Again, that's 888-262-2006. And tell them I sent you. Your company is only as good as the people you hire. Posting jobs in one place isn't enough to find the great people you need, but who has time to post to dozens of job sites? ZipRecruiter is the solution. You can post to 100-plus job sites with one single click. Be instantly matched to candidates from over 6 million resumes. You'll watch brand new candidates roll into ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface within 24 hours. ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. Scott, a senior vice president in Los Angeles, had this to say: before ZipRecruiter, I'd post to several places, get 1 million resumes, but only a few responses from qualified candidates. It was torture. But with ZipRecruiter, we post once and get qualified candidates in one easy-to-review place. We've hired some of our best employees using ZipRecruiter. Today, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/America. That's ZipRecruiter.com/America.
Private Label University with your hosts, Karen and Neil Gortzman on News Talk 710 KNUS.
So for those of you just joining us, we are Karen and Neil Gortzman, and you are listening to the Private Label University here, 710 KNUS, where we unlock the secrets each week to your online selling success.
Yes. And success is what you will gain when looking at our programs. We have these amazing programs that we offer. And, we were just talking about retailers and access and purchasing and how retailers can learn, and even entrepreneurs, if you're starting a physical product business, whether it be to launch it on Amazon or another online site, that you really have to learn how to buy correctly. And, we teach in our programs the necessary steps to incorporate. So when you're buying from China or other manufacturers overseas, the process, what to do, because there is a process. And even what we love is we have mastermind groups, and mastermind groups are so valuable for companies because, you hear horror stories where companies think they're doing the right thing, and then, a lot of companies have mentors or groups where they have group meetings, but in our mastermind groups, we have specialists and people that have been in business for, 20, 30, 40 years, and they talk about how they're doing business. And so people who are just in business who join our mastermind groups learn so much from people with so much experience. And, we always urge people to go to our website to see all the incredible courses and programs we offer. And, whether you're just starting a physical product business or starting to launch a product on Amazon, or you're a retailer who's been in business for 20, 30, 40 years, it's an excellent way to learn new things, how to buy better, how to purchase better, how to learn how to import and source products. And that's our specialty. We've been doing it for over 35 years, almost 40. So we have that experience, and the people that have taken our courses and then, again, Part of our mastermind learn that. Steve Jobs.
Just to actually interrupt us here for a second, and a great thing is we have actually over on our website, if you go www.privatelabeluniversity.com, we have a free program. Mm-hmm. It's a 5-day fast-track boot camp to private labeling, and we teach you the sourcing, importing, all the stuff you need to know to get products. And it's a really great taste of what our program, the Import Success Formula program, is all about. And it's free. So head over there and just look under freebies, and you'll see it there. Just sign up. It's easy. You just sign up, and every single day you're going to get a video from us.
And who's on the video?
A teaching video, and it's Neil and I teaching you exactly the steps and giving you tons of tips. So, it's free. It's worth going over there.
Yeah,
for sure.
And again, whether you're a newbie entrepreneur or
a
veteran,
store,
or a retail store.
And we even have you, I believe it's the last video where you get to see and walk through even starting up a listing on Amazon and getting
your product started,
set and ready to sell on Amazon. And this is even good for retailers. If you're not selling on Amazon, you need to be.
Yeah, you're losing out. Retailers, and there's so many.
There's
retailers don't understand that
now
there's
thousands
and thousands of retailers selling product on Amazon. And some retailers say, well, I don't, I have a brick and mortar store. Why would I want to sell on Amazon? Because Amazon is also they're almost like an importer. You're selling to them to sell on Amazon. It's a great venue.
And people think Amazon, well, they're my competitor. They're not your competitor.
Yeah, they're just another.
If you're selling to them or to their clients, how are they competitors?
Right.
You're making money.
You're gaining new customers.
Exactly.
So
all
new
everyone
customers.
should be doing that.
That's
Everyone
right.
should be doing that. And in the 5-day boot camp, we walk you through the steps and how to do that as well, how to set it up. So. Definitely, and it's free, so go over there and access that.
It's just talking about the mastermind and, Steve Jobs, who I didn't know personally, but of course I've read a lot about him, and he was part of mastermind sessions.
Of course.
He met with a lot of different experts who were not necessarily in competing. It was the same industry, but he learned a lot from what other companies were doing and other experts, that maybe from HP or Toshiba or from Sony, because he knew there was something to learn all the time from what, maybe I'm going to say a happy competitor, a nice competitor is doing out there.
Well, look at Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. They were friends. People think, ooh, they were enemies because of the industry and because of what they did, but they were actually friends.
And they would
worked
talk
together.
That's right.
They worked together on many projects.
Right. And they learn from each other, and that's the key here. Two experts, right? Same type of industry, also competitors, but learning from each other, because one was never really going to overtake the other. They both complement each other, and of course, again, the knowledge and the experience that they have, they shared with each other. And people don't, they think, oh, it's all going to be a secret. Or it's negative competition. Right. It's negative. It doesn't have to be. You guys could be all working together like they did. Right. Yeah, that's very important. So that's why mastermind groups, as I mentioned, are so important. And we take a lot of pride in our mastermind groups, because people from all types of industries, whether it be owners, the CEOs, retailers, or entrepreneurs, they learn from each other, and that's the key. And it's every single, it's a weekly thing where every single week, you get together, learn and talk about your business and what's going in and on right now and how to improve it. It's an amazing networking and learning opportunity. Absolutely. Right. Yeah, you definitely learn a lot from each other. So I have a question. So do we actually have access to the Chinese marketplace? Like really, really have access to get into the Chinese market? We do. But I mean, when I say we, I mean entrepreneurs, people like you and me, or is it just really those big chain stores? No, everyone does. And I think, again, another misconception where people think that, oh, I'm not big enough. I can't buy directly from China. And they're told a lot of times by their suppliers. Their distributors are saying, no. You have to buy 100,000 pieces. You can't buy directly, because they want to keep you as a customer. They don't want you buying or learning that you can actually source and import. And, again, because we help so many retailers and entrepreneurs in their business, showing them the steps you would take to import. So when someone says to you, oh, you can't buy from China, no, that's not true. It's hogwash. It's, everyone can. And that's why there's a lot of different sites that are set up now from Asia offering their products. And again, distributors will walk in, or reps will walk in for companies and tell the customers they're supplying, meaning the retailers that they're working with, and saying, no, only we can buy from China. You can't buy it. And, what if you're a retailer and you could buy from China? You can learn the steps to do that. And the same products that your supplier or your distributor is supplying you, you can now buy for half the price. Or you can... lower quantities. And lower quantities. You don't have to buy 10,000, 50,000. You can buy small quantities. There's ways to do it. And again, at sites, there's tons of online sites like Alibaba, AliExpress, Light in the Box. Yeah. There's so many of them. Global sources. And we go through all those in our program. But there's opportunity. You don't have to be ordering tons. You do not have to be a huge retail store in order to access the marketplace in China. Used to be. It used to be that way. And a lot of people they just didn't have the knowledge. They didn't know how to import, how to source. And still don't know. They still don't know. And it's amazing how, again, I meet with retailers who've, again, been in business for 35, 40 years, large chain stores, and they still are unfamiliar with the process of importing. They'll hire people who think they know how to import, but there is a process involved, and that's the beauty. In our courses, we show entrepreneurs, we show startup companies, and we show, veterans, experts, how to look for products, how to source products at better value, at better pricing. You're not committing to thousands and tens of thousands of the item, but you can buy the quantity you need to test that product. If you're a retailer and all of a sudden, I tell people, if you're saving money, you're making money. Mm-hmm. So if you were to buy at 50% lower costs than you currently buy from, right, then you're making 50% more. And you're saving. So they really have to understand that, retailers will learn, again, if they take our program or in our mastermind groups, the best way to find products. So it's important to look that, again, China is a go-to place, and there's a lot of online sites that entrepreneurs, people starting a physical product business, and retailers can look at to source products. And when you think of a product, the nice thing is it's not difficult to do. You enter the name of the product. Maybe it's a phone case, and you're in the accessory business, so you can enter phone cases, and it will bring up all the different styles, all the different colors, and then you can send emails or try to contact the factory, and that way you're working directly with the factory. So amazing.
Yes, and again, those sites, Alibaba, AliExpress, those are the most common ones that a lot of people are using right now. So let's take a short break here, and we will be right back talking more about China. We are Karen and Neil Gortzman with the Private Label University.
News Talk 710, KNUS.
Would an extra $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, or even $10,000 a month help you live a better life? It doesn't have to stop there. People just like you are making thousands of dollars selling products on Amazon. The best part is, it's simple. All you need is a product. Karen and Neil Gortzman, creators of Private Label University, are here to show you how. How to find that perfect product so you can join millions of people and start making the money that everyone is talking about on Amazon. Private Label University unlocks 35 years of secrets about sourcing, importing, and private labeling products for big chain stores. Karen and Neil truly believe in you, so much that they'll invest $500 towards your tuition in the Private Label University program, the Import Success Formula. Go to Karen and Neil's website at privatelabeluniversity.com and enroll in the Import Success Formula program. Enter code PLU for $500 off your tuition of the program when paid in full. So what are you waiting for? Head over to privatelabeluniversity.com and sign up today.
Doggone it, Trish. Where do I throw this tin foil, my plastic fork, this paper plate, 3 waste baskets? It's so confusing.
Give it to me, Craig. It's called recycling.
Hey, I know a company that recycles where I even understand how they do it.
Which one?
William Crow Jewelry, Denver's original cream jeweler.
Oh, you're talking about their vintage and estate jewelry.
You got it. William Crow's been buying and selling jewelry for nearly 100 years.
So much of their vintage and estate collection is to die for.
Good one, Trish.
Why should jewelry just sit in a drawer or a safe?
Some of it just needs a polish, an update, or maybe even an expansion.
Now you're talking. You know that song I like.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend?
No, Diamond Girl.
You sure do shine.
They've got the best diamonds at William Crow Jewelry.
William Crow Jewelry in the historic University Building, downtown 16th and Champa, free validated parking, online at williamcrow.com. William Crow Jewelry, making Denver sparkle since 1924.
We now return to the Private Label University with your hosts, Karen and Neil Gortzman on News Talk 710 KNUS.
So welcome back from the break. We are Karen and Neil Gortzman, and you are listening to the Private Label University on 710 KNUS, where we unlock the secrets each week to your online selling success. So let's continue our discussion about China. So I have a great question. So you hear about all these celebrities who say, don't buy products made in China, only buy them in the U.S. But I bet you, if you look in their homes, I bet you can find products made in China. For example, let's look at the iPhone. So do you have your iPhone here?
I have my iPhone.
Okay, so I want you to look at the back of your iPhone, because I'm sure most
it's made in California.
most celebrities have an iPhone, right?
Yeah, it's made in California.
And they think that it's made in California. But what does your iPhone actually say?
God, it's so small. It says designed in California.
Here you go.
Assembled in China.
Really?
It doesn't say even where it's made. It just says designed.
Exactly.
And actually, I believe by law, we should contact Apple. By law, it's supposed to have the country of origin markings of where it's manufactured. And this doesn't even say made in China. It just says assembled in China. So is it made from someplace else? Someplace in Indonesia or India, and then sent to China, assembled in China, designed in California. Right. And it's amazing when you say celebrities.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
How many famous people think that don't buy in China, or you shouldn't buy in China?
I like to go into their house, and I like to look around their house,
go in
and
the
I
cupboards.
can guarantee you that 95% or 99% of the stuff in their house was made in China.
Well, even Leonardo DiCaprio, he was, he always talks about saving the environment and not buying as much.
Perfect.
But then he's got a $10 million yacht, and I'm sure most of the items on that yacht or what he's using are made in China. And he spends how much in gasoline to run that huge yacht, but but then he has an electric car. He's saving, the environment. But then he gets on his yacht.
You do the best you can do, right? A little bit makes a difference.
Right.
It's true. He does the best he can do.
His smart car makes a difference.
Exactly. But it just makes me crazy because you hear a lot about the celebrities. And I agree. I would love to keep it in the U.S. and I'd love to support the manufacturers in the U.S. We both would. But the fact is people want to save money. We need to save money. We need to watch what we're buying. And the opportunity to buy the same exact products, like if I'm going to buy a cup, right? If I'm going to buy a cup here that's manufactured in the U.S., and the exact same cup, identical, made in China, right? But because of the cost of living here, because of the wages here in the U.S. compared to China, you can't compete.
Yeah,
you can't compete.
It's true.
So unless it's, like I said earlier, it's something that is so unique, then, that makes the difference. So I when I hear these celebrities saying all this, and I guess they have a following and people are following it, I think it's great. But the bottom line is most people want to save the money.
Right.
Need the lower cost. So,
and like I mentioned earlier with the Shark Tank, where people bring a product and they're making it in their garage or they're making it in their basement or someplace, they have a small cottage business going, and they want to reach the $3, $5, $10 million. And if they see an opportunity of Damon Johns or Mark Cuban or Barbara Cochran, they say, yeah, it's a great item. What does it cost for you to make now? And they say, well, it costs $3 to make, so we're selling it for $30. Then they say, oh, no. Well, you're not making it correctly. We have to move the manufacturing to China.
Right. And again, that whole misconception of, the quality
but I've never heard
in China. So I have a question actually about that. So let's actually talk for a second here about the quality of products made in China, because many people think it's poor. It's poor quality. Well, if it's made in China, it's poor. But if it's made in the U.S., it's not.
Right. And, again, the sophistication of factories in China is unbelievable. And, they're able to look at all the, difficult, whether it be instrumentation for electronics or for cars, produced there. And they're just capable. They have the engineers. They have the education where they implement that in making high-quality products. And they don't want to export a bad product. So, they want to make sure that their customer here, whether it's a huge manufacturer retailer, is getting a good product. They want to make sure that when it arrives on their shelves, that it looks good, that people are going to be happy with it. So, of course, it keeps their business going. And, again, when people think, oh, it's going to be, made cheaper there, or maybe the paint isn't safe. So I'm going to bring up, one of the big toy manufacturers. I won't say their name, but they blame China for having lead in their paints. Well, they're owned by the American company. The American company actually was having that product. They were buying all the raw materials. Why didn't that billion-dollar toy company inspect every piece of equipment?
And that is actually their responsibility. So again, the blame, everyone's blaming someone for something, but I mean, it's the responsibility of that U.S. company to make sure that the inspections are done and that certain protocols are done. So there's no real blame. And I mean, that is a whole topic.
Yeah, we'll get into that. That's another show.
That's a whole topic about, the blame in all these other countries, when really it does come down to who is the person, the manufacturer,
right.
and they're usually U.S. manufacturers. It's their responsibility. But that's, like I said,
and especially when
it's
there's choices.
It's a whole other topic.
There's choices when a manufacturer in the U.S. or another country take their products to get it made in China. They want to make sure, if they have choices for different factories making that product, the factories in China are going to make sure they're making a good product. Mm-hmm. They want to make sure it's consistent. They want to make sure that it reaches the quality and the packaging levels that North Americans or Europeans demand. So when you mention that misconception, they want to make sure that they're going to have business too, because they're servicing you with a good product. And it could be in any industry. That's, again, the great thing with China, whether it be in the medical product industry or the industrial industry, the hardware business, the car parts, toys. They want to make sure that they're producing good quality products. And, they review their products. They test their products. They have approvals. They have regulations that they have to go through before they're exported.
They've been doing this for years.
A long time. That's right. And so
I want to talk also about delivery time, because you hear, it's going to take 30 days or 60 days to get the product. And that, I think, discourages a lot of people from importing from China.
Yeah, delivery time is always a concern. And, of course, you have the distance. So delivery time, depending on the products, can take 3, 4, 5 months even. Typically, with manufacturing anything, even if it's, on U.S. soil, can take 30 days, can take 60 days, can take more.
I mean, how far is China? It's far.
Exactly.
And you can get it
and
here
it's got to come by
faster,
ocean.
or you come by faster, you have it by air, but it's very expensive. So most people pick ocean, and you think about it, it's far, and it's coming by ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to come in 3 days or 2 days like Amazon.
And in most of the time, the companies that people are buying from in China, they're manufacturers, so they're not keeping products sitting on the shelves. They don't have warehouses filled with products like Costco waiting to be exported. And it's an amazing thing because I work with tons of distributors, even manufacturers in the U.S., and I know that recently we placed an order with a company that was local. And what happened was they said it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks for your delivery. And even worse, I spoke to a company in Canada, a paint manufacturer, who does a lot of manufacturings, and they said it's going to be 8 to 12 weeks for delivery. I can get a shipment in 60 days from China, faster from China than I could from Canada.
Gotta love that, right? But most likely because they're bringing it in from China and then bringing it to them and then bringing it to you again with the middleman. So are you really buying direct, right?
Exactly.
It all comes down to that.
Exactly.
So actually, we have a bunch of questions here that I want to get to. So let's jump into question time.
It's question time with your dynamic duo hosts, Karen and Neil Gortzman. What's your billion-dollar question?
All right, Neil.
Shazam.
Shazam, exactly. Put your cape away. Okay, great. So we have some questions that I want to get to that were sent over to us via our website. Sorry. So if you have any questions, please visit us over on our website at www.privatelabeluniversity.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see a tab there. It says, leave us a message. So you can voice a message to us and give us your question, and we would love to air it on the show.
Yeah.
There you go. So one of the questions I have here that was written to us was, I have a retail store, and I heard on your last show about buying from other industry suppliers. My distributor told me I cannot buy from anyone else. So what's the truth?
That's a good question because, again, there's a lot of myths in industries. And, well, of course, they're going to tell you that. So if a distributor has been supplying you, if you're a retailer, or even if you're a manufacturer, they're going to say, no, you can't buy from anyone else because they don't want to lose the business. Now, what you have to realize, you can buy from any industry you want. You can buy from any distributor as a retailer, or if someone's in the physical product business, you're not forced. There's no dictatorship here where they can say, no, you can't. Now, they may have their own policies where they say, well, if you don't buy a certain volume, then we're going to lower your discount. But to me, that's not fair. If you're a retailer, if you own your own business, there's choice, and you have to look at the choice. If you can save 30-40% on the products that you buy that you're going to retail or resell in your stores, you have to look for the best price. That's the key here. To stay in business, if you want to pay the highest price, you can go ahead and do it, but you're not going to be competitive. So to be in business, every retailer, anyone in the physical product business, you want to offer a low price. Look on Amazon. The people who have the highest cost, the highest price, they don't win the sale. So it's very important when someone tells you, oh, no, you can't buy from another distributor or another industry. Again, hogwash. It's not true. You have the choice. You run your business. They shouldn't be running your business.
Very Harry Potter. But thank you. Good question. Good question. So another question we have here is, what does net pricing mean, and is it better to look at discount or net pricing?
So net pricing typically means this is your cost. And anytime, a lot of manufacturers or distributors will say, we're going to give you this amount of discounts. So we're going to give you 50% off or 40% off. You really have to look at the net price, the actual cost at your door, because they can throw all these 50%, 60%, 80% off, but it's 80% off of what? Off of a price that they've created, so they're making money. And a lot of retailers don't understand that if someone says net pricing, they'll say, well, what's my discount? Like, what is my discount? No. You got to compare. So you really have to pull out your calculator, old school business 101, where you have to pull out your calculator. If someone says you're getting 50% off and another supplier is telling you, here's your net pricing, you really have to look at your costs, because that's going to ultimately show your profit margins. So you have to be aware of that.
Great question. Great answer. So we're going to wrap up here today. We would love to hear from you. So feel free to pick our brains, ask us some questions about private labeling, sourcing, or importing or Amazon. We're here to help you grow your business. All you have to do is visit us over at www.privatelabeluniversity.com or visit us over on our Facebook page at Private Label University on Facebook and leave us a message there too. And we will air your question on the show. So we want to thank you all for joining us today. Again, we are Karen and Neil Gwartzman with the Private Label University.
Yeah, and look at our boot camp. That's, it's a free boot camp that you can sign up for. It has videos that we send to you, and it really, again, no matter what position you're in, if you're starting a new company or you've been in business for 30, 40 years, if you have a bunch of stores or you're just looking to open a store, it's a great way of learning how to source, how to import, and how to get the best prices.
And it's free. So again, Karen and Neil Gwartzman, Private Label University, and we'll see you next week.
I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad.
Thank you for joining Karen and Neil Gwartzman at 710 KNUS, the Private Label University, the only show that dares to unlock the secrets to your online selling success so you can start making money and living your dreams. Remember to visit us over at www.privatelabeluniversity.com for tons of free content. While you're there, leave us a message and we'll air your comments and questions on the show. Listen to us every Sunday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. The dynamic duo, Karen and Neil, are now signing off.